we're talking the Indomie Independence Day Award, and it's a social responsibility initiative from Dufil Prima Foods PLC. That's those who make your favorite Indomie noodles. We have the PR manager in the house, the PR manager of Dufil Prima Foods, Mr. Ope Ashiwaju. Good morning.
Good morning, madam.
And thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
Now, the Indomie Independence Day Award for Heroes of Nigeria.
Thanks.
Excuse me. Rather long name, but what's that all about?
It's a Indomie Independence Day Award. I mean, it's a CSR initiative by us, which we initiated 6 years ago as a company, and what we decided to do was to celebrate with the unsung heroes in Nigeria, the uncelebrated ones, which are basically children. And we found out that a lot of times people that have been celebrated in the past in the country have been, of course, in quotes, the over-celebrated, the big names. And we found out that there are still lots and lots of children out there that are doing things that are worthy of recognition. So as a brand, we decided that, okay, we'll be playing very actively in that role, and that's why we initiated this program. And 6 years ago, while we started, we had lots and lots of entries, and we just felt it could only get bigger. We had this way back in Abuja, being the capital of the nation, and we decided that we wanted it as close to the country's Independence Day as possible. And that's why the name Indomie Independence Day Award came in. And we found out that it was almost impossible to, because of course there are lots and lots of things happening around October 1st in the country, which will ultimately overshadow what we're doing. But ultimately, we are trying to line it with October 1st events to ensure that as a country, we begin to merge what we're doing with the awards that we're likely to give to the kids. And that's why it's been like that for a while. And we've always had it around 1st to the second week in October every year.
When you say you had a lot of entries, how did the entries come in?
Oh, normally what we do is that we have media partners, I mean, TV, press people, and we always have them. Some stories that we've gathered in the past actually have been maybe lead from the press, maybe an occurrence that had happened before. I'll give you an example. The first winner of the Indomie Heroes Award was Khalil Bala. Khalil Bala was one 11-year-old boy then, who against all odds went back into an inferno. The house was burning, and of course everybody ran out of that house, and he realized that his younger sister was still in the house. Against all odds, people were holding him down. He went back into the fire and actually rescued the younger sister. But of course, he was not so lucky. He got badly burnt. I mean, his 2 limbs were gone. He had operations upon operations, and we realized that, I mean, it was a spontaneous reaction for him, which ordinarily adults will think twice before they go back into the burning house. So, of course, he was given an award. He came first then. He was given an award, of course, scholarship. He had several operations. And thereafter, we wanted to ensure that, of course, his education continues. So he was given an award, of course, millions of naira, and till date, we still monitor what he's doing. And I can tell you that he's doing well.
Now, what do these children have to do?
Okay.
What do you ask them to do to win the award?
Now, we're not asking them to do anything, because if you say ask them to do, then you can believe that a lot of kids will go act being heroes.
They will give you Hollywood.
Yes,
I'm sorry, Nollywood.
So that's not what we want, actually.
Okay.
What we're saying is that people that had done things in the past that had not been planned for, that out of their free will had done these acts. Now, we're asking that people, anybody from press, TV, we also have a research team combing around the country, asking for some of these stories, go to the community centers, police stations, and all what we have.
It is not the children who send in the entries or the stories.
No, most of the stories are sent by people, the adults who know of such acts. So,
but you do investigation to
verify. Oh yes, there are processes of getting involved. One, we have the search process, which is where the research team will go out to combing the country to find out what stories or what acts will fit into what we're looking at. And of course, we also have the post-evaluation section, which is after all these stories must have been collected, people will go to verify those stories, if they're actually true or not. Because, we have several stories coming in, and we only need to go and find out, was it true this actually happened? You will have to find out from those community people who were witnesses to the act itself. Let me give you another example. There's a boy called Chia who got an award. I think it was the second edition as well, who was the first boy who got to, if you remember the C-130 plane crash where the army people died then. Yeah. He was one of the people who got there first. And he had to travel several miles up the hill where that accident had happened. And he was able to get one of the general's phone sets to make calls back to his father. His father was in church then. His father thought it was a joke. But of course, he ran back to call people to come and rescue them. And he was able to rescue about 4 to 5 of them, which was a very bravery act. Ordinarily, when people see such acts, the first thing that comes to their mind is just to run away. But at that young age, for him to be able to do that, it meant good. It means there was that bravery act in him, which he obviously put in display, yes.
Now, what inspired Indomie to initiate this award?
Yeah, like I said earlier, one is a child-friendly brand, and we felt that the only way we could continue in that realm was to get these kids on the right path from the beginning. Now, when you say our core values, we are losing our core values in the country, you know that it's not just something that happened one day. It's something that over time had been eroded. Now, you find out that most of the time, a lot of children do things on their own and they just do it out of their evolution. Now, once you begin to celebrate with them their achievements, once you begin to celebrate those good norms, then other people, other children will also be looking at it as something that is worth emulating. So it means that once you change that value curve, you find out that you have more and more people doing it at their own, irrespective of if you are going to be celebrated or not. It's something that ordinarily you should be doing. And that's why as a brand we said we will celebrate with them, unsung heroes, uncelebrated people. That is why we said we were going to do this. And it's an initiative that has people are aware of, people like it. And of course, they've always told us that we should continue along that line. Some even are even saying that maybe we should extend it. But we said, no, let's still limit it to, because at certain age, once you begin to do those things called the bravery act, you are conscious of what we're doing. I know that now, if somebody is drowning, I need to rescue. But you can imagine a 6-year-old or a 7-year-old that spontaneously, irrespective of if he knows how to swim or not, what comes to his mind is that somebody is drowning, let me save this person. And those acts are things that we consider as rights, and we begin to inculcate in them. Have
you had to deal with false entries?
Oh,
and how do you handle that?
Well, we have a research team. We have, you'll be amazed the kind of stories that we get. Somebody sending in stories that, okay, my child woke up today feeling strong, bouncing. Those are not the kind of stories. Every child will always wake up with one story or the other, but we have research team that are going for these stories, and of course we have a panel of judges who sits on these stories. I can tell you that Dufil Prima Foods as a brand, we're doing this thing, but it's totally independent of us. Whatever stories that are brought, whatever shortlisting they do, it's actually not our business. We have people who in the past have been with credible people in the society. We've had, maybe I should begin to mention names, but you've had lots and lots of people who have been part of it. Mrs. Momo, Ruben Abati, you've had so many of them that had just been part of it. And we looked at it and said, independently assess these stories and tell us which you feel will come first. Because, of course, there are also set criteria for qualification. Once they meet those criteria, then, of course, it will be obvious who the winner will be.
What's the criteria? Well,
some of the criteria is that against all odds, I mean, first and foremost, those stories have to be genuine. And two, against all odds, was it spontaneous or was it something that was planned? Now, again, is that you find out that some of those stories have to be able to, I mean, you have to be able to verify it too. That's three. Then, of course, were those stories actually things that other people will see and emulate? You know, what leadership traits does it connote? So some of those criteria are what they look at, and against what is the risk involved.
And the children have to be between what ages?
The 15 years and below. Okay. And they have to be 15 years below, yes.
Well, 15 years and below.
Of course, there's a limit to
like for 4-year-olds.
Yeah, they're allowed to do
it. No, I mean, you see, it's amazing what kind of stories we get.
Up to 15 years.
Yes, up to 15 years old. And I mean, we had somebody about 6-7 years who actually took delivery of the sister's pregnancy. Yeah, and, yes, they were stuck at home, and the sister went into labor, and she was the only one at home. The mother had traveled, and she took delivery of it. It's amazing, it's unbelievable, but it's reality.
I must shock well,
the sister must have been telling her what to do. Get a blade.
For
what, clean it or something.
For her not to be nervous, for her not to have done the wrong thing alone, shows that's courage.
And for her not to have run outside and screamed for help. Wow.
Okay, your research team is supposed to go around the country.
Yes.
Comprehensively.
Yes.
How comprehensive would that be if it's done in just less than 10 months?
Well, when what we expect to do, I mean,
when do you start the entry process?
Let me just say, every year, October, it happens, the Independence Day Award happens every day. Thereafter, I mean, stories can come in from January to whenever we're doing it. But we're saying that comprehensively, when the research team will hit the field, is when they start to go and ask questions. I mean, we don't stop stories from coming in anyway from January to date. But what we expect is that 2 months before, I mean, we give the research team 2 months, exactly 2 months, to comb the 6 geopolitical zones and to get stories first and foremost,
to verify the ones that they have got.
Yes.
How has this impacted the lives of the 5 who have won so far? Do you only have one winner, by the way?
No, we don't. We have 3 winners every year, 4th, 2nd, and 3rd.
Okay. And so you had 15 winners so far.
15 winners so far.
Okay. How has this impacted on their lives? And how are you ensuring that the awards, well, the monetary part of it,
judiciously used?
Exactly.
What we do is that we also have a team, apart from that we monitor them as a company, because, I mean, thereafter they've become sort of our baby. So what we try to do is that even from the time they get that award, the monetary award, what we do is that we educate their parents to say, this is given to this child for what he or she must have done. And we expect that it's going to be judiciously used, follow through, and for their education, most especially. And we've had situations whereby people have called from the school, they've sent us invoices, and we've said, okay, you can release funds, because we always try to manage that through banks. At the same time, we don't want to hold on to those funds so that they won't say, oh, they won 1 million naira and they were not given. We'll ensure that it goes into your account. I mean, most of them are below 18 anyway. So we expect that, okay, it's either the fund goes into their parents' accounts, and they are properly monitored. And from time to time, we call them to ensure that those kids are doing well at 12, 13, 14. You can actually say the truth. This kind of school you're going to, has there been an improvement? And I can tell you it's been a life-changing experience for some of them. I'll give you an example. Molade, there's a cripple who makes shoes, leather, stores, who came second. And by the time he won, he had nothing. He was just doing by the roadside. Now Molade has almost 10 employees working for years and is still in Lagos. We've invited him to several of those events that we've done. He's come with his family. It's a total life changer for him.
Very quickly, what do you plan to do differently this year?
Okay, what we're trying to do this year is also to say that apart from that Heroes Award that we're doing, we're bringing in the Indomie Academic Champions Award. Now, the Indomie Academic Champions Award is a situation whereby we have, we've partnered with JAMB and WAEC to ensure that they give us lists of students as per their score in the exams. And what we do is to give them award to ensure that they'll be able to further, because we find that some people actually are very brilliant, but the ability to further is an issue. So we're planning to give scholarship to this, and it's going to be a post-secondary school award.
Okay, very interesting. The Indomie Independence Day Award for Heroes of Nigeria. It's an initiative of Dufil Prima Foods PLC, makers of Indomie instant noodles. Well, all we can do at this point is wish you luck, and we hope that you find 3 more deserving heroes this year. And keep up the good work.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.